And we're recording. Hello, everybody. Today is September 1st, 2018. I felt like I've not made a video in a couple days. It's my day. Excuse me, frog in my throat. It's my day 2.113. And just a lot of things going on. As you can see by the background, new digs. This is where we're living at now. And I think today is probably the third day that we've lived here, and now our furniture is all here. And that's what this video is going to be about, is my experience today moving. The first time that I've moved as a woman, and just how it went. The moving crew were very cool. It was one leader and 4 young men. And, you know, it was interesting to be, well, I don't know how to explain it. Okay. When you're surrounded by strong guys who are there to help you move your furniture, for some reason, previously, in the male role, I always felt inadequate, you know. Even though there were things that I obviously lifted to get into the house or lifted to move, you know, and so not to knock them for what they were doing, but, you know, I've picked up stuff and moved it, and they've picked up stuff and put it on a dolly and rolled it. Now, again, I'd much rather pick it for a little bit and leave it than roll it, you know, yards and yards and yards. But in the female role, I was, I didn't feel like I had to compete, or I don't know, before, like I said, it was like I was inadequate. And now it was like, you know, I'm the woman. I'm going to do my thing over here and help where I can, but watch you, you know. And so that was a little different experience. There were a couple times where, you know, the younger people on the crew were ma'am, miss, you know, yes ma'am, you know, whatever. But one of them was, you know, hey sweetheart, da 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 da. Or what do you need, you know, what do you need, sweetheart? And so, you know, I could see how, you know, I'm not going to say demeaning, and at face value, you're like, oh, well, it's a sexist statement or whatnot. But I mean, you know, on the one hand, I took it as, oh, you know, oh. You know, I didn't take it as, you know, you were going to call me Miss da 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 da, you know. But it was interesting how just stereotypical it was, and it happened, you know. The other thing, which I anticipated at the end of it, you know, I anticipated a trick of some kind. And, you know, I don't want to get in any sort of legal issues here, so I guess I shouldn't say anything, but I'm trying to figure out how to say this without being libel. We'll go back to just the gender thing. You know, at the end, as in the past, let me rephrase this. In the past, when I got screwed over on the bill, you know, it was, you know, who has the bigger penis, you know, make myself look bigger, you know. Whereas today it was, you know, oh, you know, you're a woman, you don't understand. Let me explain it to you, mansplain it to you. And once I realized what the game was, you know, I was like, okay, I'm not going to win this, you know. So I did take the demure, oh, you know, And again, before it would have been a lot of browbeating and like I said, who has the biggest penis? Whereas today it was just like, okay, let you do your thing and I'll do my thing. So really that's just about it. But like I said, it was just a really kind of different experience, again, to be, hire the strong men to come in and move your furniture, and let them do their thing and let them set up their ramps and contraptions and take doors off. I mean, at one point I was like, there was one thing that obviously I moved many times in the past, and it's like, there was a time when I would pick it up and have someone at the front of it, and I'd pick up the back and we'd move. And, here it was, we got to set up a ramp and we got to take this door off and we got to do this. I guess at some points I felt like they were padding the clock, but anyway. So that's my experience and whatnot. After, here's something else that took me back to. And while I'm sharing, when I was pointing out, this is going, this is not going, whatnot. Same person, the leader of the group, the older person, looked at me and he said, so what church do you go to? And I was like, what kind of question is that, Religion, politics, right? And so I shared with him the Unitarian church that I go to, and he was like, oh, and I said, it's kind of an interesting question. He says, well, I noticed, women who are religious, wear dresses and others don't, and I thought for a minute, I'm like, I'm wearing a V-neck shirt and a jean skirt, not wearing a dress, but anyway, it just took me back again, so this afternoon, I mean, after the move and I cleaned up and everything, I felt, I guess from the morning, like I was put into this pigeonhole stereotype. So I made sure that the hair thing I put in my hair, had a little bow on it, a little frilly tie. I wore my my bra here. I'm gonna put the camera down here. This is a very nicely padded bra from Lane Bryant, and I'm gonna do this to show you. This is not me. This is like padding. Okay. Woo, woo, woo. Just for the extra cleavage. So I guess I lived up to the stereotype, but I don't know. I just at the end afterwards, I'm like, is this really happening? Am I on hidden camera or whatever? So anyway, so that's my story. I hope you got a laugh out of it. We are still waiting to hear about closing on the house, and that's kind of the last thing to happen, and then life will move on to the next stage, the next step, which may or may not really be gender related. I'm still waking up during the middle of the night. That hasn't gone away. My sleep study test came back, and one of the nights my average for near-death events was 32 an hour. So that tells me that I have sleep apnea. He said severe sleep apnea. So that may be why I'm waking up in the middle of the night still. But it is most annoying to need sleep and be sleepy, and then you wake up at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning and you can't go back to bed. Which is, I'm forcing myself to stay up today because I am tired. I would fall asleep if I could, but I'm making myself stay up because I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night. I mean, I'm going to wake up anyway. That's the thing that sucks ass. I'm going to wake up anyway, and I hate that. But C'est la vie, my friends, c'est la vie. But hopefully, moving, had an issue today. We plugged in the washer here at the duplex, and turns out the hot water spigot, the valve, is not a good valve. It's not a good close. And so I was able to go online and submit a maintenance request, and I told them what was wrong with the valve and it needed to be replaced. And that's a very different experience than previously living in the house, and you're like, do we call a plumber? Do we do this? And we got to go buy this, and we got to, shut the water off and replace the valve. And, which again, you're probably like, oh, that's just $5 from the Home Depot. Well, you're absolutely right. But do that times 20. I'd rather live in the apartment or duplex, and that's where we're at now. So, anyway, that's about it. I can feel my little IBS worry thing kicking, so I better stop. I guess because I talked about some unpleasant things today. Being, sweetheart, and just some moments of stress. So, we'll see what happens next. I'm a little anxious about returning back to work in a couple days, but I got a couple days off. That may just be the move. You'll love this story. Here's a brief example of the way this has gone. Most of the things with this move has been this way. It's something a step forward, a step back, a step forward. The water company came out to turn on my water, and instead they just checked the meter. And so it was like, wait a minute, you're supposed to turn on the water. Well, 3 customer service people later, turns out I found out yesterday morning that the previous tenant didn't pay their sewer bill. So there was a hold, there was a lien on this property. And so until they got paid, the sewer company wasn't going to do nothing. And the water company is not going to turn on your water if the sewer company says don't turn on the water. So nervousness, anxiety, oh my gosh, we're coming up to the weekend, a long weekend, holiday weekend. We're going to be 3 days without water. And we've already moved our stuff, And so yesterday was calling the water company and calling the property management. And it turns out they did pay the check. They didn't pay the bill. The water company did release it. And by the skin of our teeth, we got water yesterday. So I'm happy. But that stress arc, that's the way this move has been, is a series of stress arcs, And so, we're happy that things worked out, and I'm very thankful to God for that. But it's one of those things that just, I'm ready for a couple of days of no stress. And I think once we get the close on the house and get that sold and, everything finalized, I think that'll be the level of calm that I need. So anyway, if I haven't babbled on long enough, I do apologize if I babbled, but I wanted to share my story. And life will continue, and I wish everyone the best of luck on your journey. I wish you the best of luck in becoming your authentic self. I wish you the best of luck in becoming the person that you want to be, that you want to become. Fulfill yourself, and I will try to do the same, and we'll stick it out and see what happens, okay? All right, so till next time, good luck and goodbye.